In this episode of Project FD, we're going to install this giant wing, but first, some hotline bling.
You got a reputation for yourself now.
For those of you wondering, this is an APR GTC 300 that you very craftily found on the internet.
That's right. Late night surfing on Kijiji yielded this gem, a brand new wing for $500.
And it's for a Supra.
Mark IV Toyota Supra.
So that means that the mounts were a little wider apart.
Slightly wider apart, but hey, for $500 it can't go wrong. And I knew I was going to make custom mounts for it anyway.
Which you did, and now you've made new ones.
Because I built a carbon fiber hatch, a full carbon fiber hatch, and I would rather not use it to mount my wing on. So I got these drawn up by our friend at Aaron, Weird Tech, and got it cut at CAM Metals. And yeah, these are my new chassis mounts. So all the weight of the wing will be right onto chassis with no flex. So these are the two components that make up the chassis mount. We have the uprights themselves and the actual chassis mounts, which will be bolted the uprights to, and there's a reinforcement plate underneath here. The main advantage of a chassis mount is so we don't lose downforce through flex. And that's how most time attack cars and proper race cars do it, so that's good enough for me. Dave, what do you think?
I like it, yeah. I mean, this is obviously a much stronger part of the car than the trunk lid would be, or in this case, the carbon hatch would be. So, I mean, I could put my considerable flab on there and I don't feel any flex in that metal. So yeah, I'd say that's a really good, strong place to mount the wing. This thing will make a lot of downforce.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that should definitely support it. All the downforce into the rear tires instead of into the flexing of the lid. So, Mr. Wing Mount Designer, why did you choose this location for the wing as far as like the angle of the uprights and all that go?
Because I read something you wrote a few years ago.
It's true, I did write something about the wing I mounted on my RX-7, which I got from Simon McBeath, who's a well-known aerodynamicist out of the UK. And what he told me was you actually want the leading edge of the wing to overlap a bit with the rear of the car. Has something to do with the way the layers of the air are interacting. So you don't actually want the wing to be too far back. Plus, the further back you go, the more you're creating leverage and lifting the front of the car. So you want downforce over the rear tires, but you don't necessarily want to be lifting the front of the car. So it looks to me like you took that advice to heart because there's some overlap happening here. And as far as the height goes, I mean, there's different theories on it. I'm not an aerodynamicist. Guys like to get their wing way up high in the air thinking they're getting clean air flow onto it. But with this 3D shape, it's actually designed to work with that attached layer off the hatch. So the fact that you're not crazy high probably means you will benefit from air, that attached airflow interacting with the wing. So it looks good to my untrained eye, but I guess we can only find out really by going and doing some testing or going to the wind tunnel again, which we'll probably never be able to do. So we'll just go to the track instead.
So one of the downfalls of having a chassis mount is you have to cut through either your body panels or your hatch, in my case, to get to the chassis. And so unfortunately, this beautiful carbon fiber hatch will be put under the knife and we'll be inhaling some carbon fiber dust. Hopefully I don't die.
Don't worry, people. Ken's a professional ER nurse by day, so if anyone should be smart enough to wear gloves and a mask, it'll be our boy Ken, right? I guess 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Anyway, taking a cutting disc to a beautifully handcrafted carbon fiber hatch like this is a bit painful, which by the way, Ken got some help from coach Kevin Stittle, our C3 Composites Ninja. But you know what? That's just the price you gotta pay to chassis mount a wing. With the underside clearanced for those chassis mount brackets, all that was left to do was to cut some slits in the top side for the uprights, and bam, weight reduction complete on our carbon hatch, which by the way only weighs 9 pounds compared to the factory hatch at 50 pounds. Now that Ken's done the labor that actually requires some skill, I'm going to help bolt up the wing. One on the outside or the inside?
Outside.
Outside?
Inside.
Wing mounts
You're
on the inside?
Yeah, there we go.
Alright.
Perfect.
Oh, she's tight. She's tight like a tiger.
Okay, reverse it then. Let's see. Reverse it. There you go. That makes some more sense.
Better
Eh?
on the outside, yeah.
And it's the furthest one down.
You going bolts on the outside or nuts on the?
Bolts on the outside, sir.
You're using the back. What about the front mount? Are you using the lower hole or which hole are you using on there?
What do you think
Lower
of
front
the
for
lower-
now?
Yeah, the lower one for now.
Give you maximum angle of attack.
Max downforce.
That's right. Nothing else. Your car always looks good hard parked in the shop, Ken. Ken's what we called a shop hard parker. Builds a badass race car that never actually gets to the racetrack because
Because it's a rotary, that's why.
he's too busy building it all the time.
Labor of love.
And before we actually get to track tested, he's now going to have to section the whole body kit and widen it. Shh, surprise. Is that a surprise? Oh, well, I've ruined the surprise. Sorry, kids. Oh, tools.
Tools.
I like tools. So Ken Wagon, the wing's installed already? Well, that was too easy.
Yeah, that was very easy. Just notched it. Everything worked out better than I thought. And only thing left to do is to paint it, and then we're good.
You gonna put like the Filipino flag on there or something?
I might. The Pinoy flag.
That's right. Filipino pride, bro. So now that we've installed the wing, I think we're finally going to give you a complete tour of the car because we've never really shown you in any detail what's going on other than the stuff we did with Race Pack and with Fortunato. So
That's right.
let's take a tour.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's start with the outside for our tour. Ken normally has a diffuser on the back, but that's not in place right now. That's going to get redesigned, is it?
That's going to be redesigned, so bigger, badass version of it.
Which will help the wing work and will also help the splitter work, which is not on the car right now.
It's another thing on the winter to-do list.
To rebuild the splitter.
To rebuild the whole car, it seems
You're
like.
gonna mold that into your RMMIA front bumper? Is that what you're gonna do?
Actually, I'm going to keep it two pieces. That way, if I go off, which I'm pretty sure I will, I won't wreck both things.
It's a good idea. And speaking of REMMIA, or however you say it, the wide body is also their design.
Yep, so the design is one of their reiterations. The kit, there's different versions. To be honest, I'm not sure which one it is, but it's awesome looking.
It's one of their many wide body kits. And you're gonna be making it even wider.
Yes, we are.
Because we've got some of this going on. Ready? Let's do this! Oh yeah! Volk Racing ZE40s, or as we say in Canada, ZE40s. Look at that, boys and girls. We got some dish going on there. 18 by 11, Ken?
That's right.
What's the offset?
Plus 15.
Plus 15. That's gonna score you a lot of points on the internet.
I hope so too.
We just ordered a set of tires for these bad boys, 315s, which makes Pete shake his head because he thinks it's just too big, but Ken's motto is go big or go home, so we're doing that. That pretty much wraps up the exterior, I think.
That pretty much does it, yes.
Let's have a look under the hood. So the hood is up, and what do you say we work our way from the outside toward the delicious rotary center?
That sounds like a plan to me.
All right, so down front here I see we've got two gigantic oil coolers.
That's right. We have the Earl's Performance 32-row oil coolers that are hooked up using Vibrant Performance AN hose and fittings with a Mocal thermostat.
Fancy. And this is also a Vibrant intercooler.
That's correct. This is a Vibrant intercooler core, and once again, all the piping is Vibrant Performance. We're also using their Ultra Trick Van Gen clamps.
Fancy, yes.
That's right.
And is this a 4-inch intake?
That's a 4-inch intake. I have to match my 4-inch full exhaust system. Once again, I'll use with Vibrant Performance parts, Van Gen clamps, and was fabricated by our friend Joe Ferguson of RPM Motorsports.
Who also built the engine, but we'll get to that
That's
in a
correct,
minute. And
yes.
people often ask about, what are those two pipes sticking out the hood?
That's where we make s'mores. Those are the dump tubes for our Turbo Smart Hypergate 45 dual wastegates.
Because it's a twin scroll turbo.
That's correct.
And that is from Turbonetics?
It's a Turbonetics unit. It's a GTK 700 series.
Which supports up to something like 700 horsepower, which is why they call it the 700 series, I think.
That's
and
correct.
you made, on last year's tune, you made a little over 400 at the wheel, I think it was?
It was 485 actually.
485.
485.
At what boost level?
21.
Wow, that's a lot of jam.
Yeah.
So that dyno result that we recently posted where you only made 3 something, that was only at 14 pounds, so that was just at spring pressure.
Yeah.
So once we get the boost situation sorted out, which Gabe was here earlier, by the way, working on the smart wire setup, and it looks like you just literally didn't turn on the wiring to
The power from the smart wire to power that actual signal to power the solenoid.
Exactly. So now that we've got that fixed, you should be able to get tuned at whatever boost level we want to target.
Yep. We have another AEM water meth kit coming in, and we got to just sort out the TPS, and then I think we're ready for a tune in the spring.
Yeah, we can make some real horsepower in the spring. So what else do we have got? See, we've got a Turbo Smart blow-off valve.
Yep, we
It's
have
the race port.
race port blow-off valve as well.
And
also
the
their
manifold is full race, is that right?
that's a full race piece that we have some nice Inconel heat shielding from Turbo Source.
And there's a lower intake manifold from...
Excessive manufacturing, yes.
Okay. Does that cover pretty much everything that's bolted to the engine?
To the engine, yes. Now
We've got the coil packs from AEM.
Yes, these are their smart coil ignition system.
And what about the fuel system?
The fuel system is a CJ Motorsports full system kit. It includes a primary and secondary fuel rails, and we're also managing fuel pressure using Turbo Smart's fuel pressure regulator.
So what's the advantage of the CJ setup?
CJ setup is a whole lot cleaner than most installs that I've found, and just the fit and the finish and the quality of them, I couldn't be happier with them.
And the injectors, I think you're running what, injector dynamic?
Yes.
1000s and 2000s, something like that?
That's correct. We're running the ID injectors, 2000 secondaries and 1000 primaries.
That's a whole lot of fuel. These are thirsty bitches, aren't they?
That's right.
Okay. So the rotary itself, it's a 13B REW.
It's a 13B REW, which we got the housings we finished by Goopy. We're running Mazda Speed bearings in there that our friend Joe Ferguson hooked us up with. Running Goopy Apex seals, 2mm two-piece, and the whole rotating assembly was balanced,
Right.
to ensure happy revving up to say 10,000 RPM.
Although you've probably only revved it out to 9K or something like that?
Yes, I baby this car a lot.
He does, baby. I'm gonna fix that for him next year. All right, I think that pretty much covers the engine bay. We showed you a lot of the interior in our race pack Haltech video, but we're gonna cover some of the other details off while we're here, including this very impressive OMP racing seat. Ken, where did you get such a beautiful seat?
It's a relic from, I think it's a championship winning seat.
That's right, this was in my Canadian touring car Civic. Won myself 6 races in this bad boy. And this little Sparco steering wheel looks like it's vintage as well. It's looking a little worn, but it's got character, right?
It does.
You also put in some floor-mounted Willwood pedals, which mean that only a dwarf or a Filipino man can drive the car. A normal-sized man can't. So we're gonna have to fix that over the winter.
We will, and actually order the overhang pedals, and they are waiting to be picked up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get those tomorrow, which means the car will actually go fast next year. What else we got in here? We've got a Willwood brake biaser.
That's correct.
So you can
I can adjust
determine
on
how
the
much
fly. That's right.
brake pressure goes to the front and rear brakes. And you've got your ATL fuel level, you've got an Innovate wideband, some cool little switches just because Ken likes cool little switches. You've got a roll cage in here too, which was again built by Joe, isn't that right?
Joe Ferguson from RPM Motorsports.
Yeah, he did a really nice job. I like your SFI roll cage padding, that's the good stuff.
Safety
Don't
first.
use pool noodles on your roll cage, people. You need the high density SFI rated
Ask us
padding.
how we know.
That's good stuff. Well, I think that wraps up the tour of the interior and really the whole car. We planned to do a track test to show off the capabilities of the Fortunato coilovers, but really the clock's ticking on us now. It's getting cold. The car still needs a lot of work before it's in running condition. So I think the next episode you'll see on it will be Ken widening the fenders to fit those beautiful Volk Racing wheels with some gigantic Toyo R888s. So look for that one coming soonish?
Soonish.
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 Yeah, that's the guy that's making our life miserable right now. Making so much noise. And unfortunately for you all watching this video, you have to suffer through it. So, him, go away.